Hey everyone, welcome to Strangest Things, the podcast where we dive into the weird, the creepy, and the downright bizarre stories that keep us up at night. I'm June, your host.
And I'm Mike, and we are so freaking excited to be here. We're massive fans of all the mysteries and strange tales that make the world such an endlessly fascinating place. In Strangest Things, we're going to take you on a wild ride into the unknown, exploring spine-chilling narratives and the unexplained oddities that lurk right on the fringes of our reality.
You ready for this, Mike? This first episode is all about the freakiest, most hair-raising ghost stories from around the world.
Oh, absolutely, June. I love a good scare. Ghost stories have a way of getting under your skin like nothing else. There's just something so unsettling about the idea that spirits might linger unseen but somehow present all around us.
That's the thing, isn't it? And ghost sightings and legends have been around for centuries. It seems like every culture, every town has its own unique collection of haunted places and eerie spirits trapped between our world and the next. Let's get right into it with a story that's been passed down for generations. This one takes us deep into the heart of Japan, and it's known as the legend of Oiwa. Imagine a beautiful young woman betrayed by her cruel and greedy husband. He poisons her in order to marry the daughter of a wealthy neighbor, scarring and disfiguring her before she draws her last breath.
Whoa, that's brutal. But as they say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
And that's exactly the chilling part. Oiwa doesn't just roll over and disappear. Her restless spirit returns, craving vengeance. Her ghostly visage, with drooping eyes and a hideously distorted face, haunts not just her killer, but anyone who dares put on a theatrical production about her tragic tale. It's said that actors who play her part have met with misfortune and even death.
That's a straight-up nightmare fuel, June. Talk about a ghost story that stays with you long past bedtime. So are you saying some actors believe performing this story is actually cursed?
Well, that's the strange part. There have been a string of eerily coincidental accidents and unexplainable problems during plays and movies based on Oiwa's story. It's no wonder many in the Japanese theater world tread carefully and often perform rituals meant to appease her spirit before they take on the role.
Yikes! Now, I've got to admit, my skepticism is going toe-to-toe with my shivers right now. But hey, that's the beauty of all these ghostly tales, isn't it? They ignite that little spark of what if in our imaginations. And that leads me to one of my personal favorites, the classic tale of the Bloody Mary legend. June, you know this one, right?
Of course, who hasn't heard this chilling story whispered at sleepovers and campfires? Bloody Mary, the vengeful specter summoned by chanting her name 3 times in a dimly lit bathroom mirror. There are tons of variations, but the core legend is always the same. A malevolent spirit with burning eyes and a blood-soaked face lurks in the reflection, ready to strike.
It's a staple of childhood fear for a reason, that's for sure. So where did this whole thing come from? There are loads of theories. Some link her to Queen Mary I of England, known for her brutal persecution of Protestants, hence the Bloody Mary title. Others believe she might even be based on an elderly woman gruesomely murdered in her home.
There's always a hint of historical darkness woven into these legends, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes them all the more unsettling. They're not just campfire frights, there is a flicker of potential truth to them.
Exactly. And that sense of historical tragedy is definitely at play in this next ghost story. Remember the Tower of London? Turns out it's not only known for the crown jewels and gruesome executions, it's also got quite the reputation as one of the most haunted places in England.
And no wonder. The tower has witnessed centuries of violence and betrayal, but one ghost story stands out among the lot, the Princes in the Tower. It goes back to the 1400s when 2 young boys, Edward V and his little brother Richard, simply vanished within the tower's walls after their uncle took the throne. It's suspected he had them murdered to solidify his power.
Talk about chilling. And their ghosts are said to roam the corridors of the tower, with sightings usually reporting 2 small, frightened-looking boys dressed in nightshirts. It's no wonder the Tower of London is considered one of the most haunted spots in the world. All that history and tragedy echoing through those ancient stones, it's a perfect recipe for restless spirits.
Absolutely. So let's shift focus to a different kind of haunting. It's a phenomenon called phantom vehicles. Imagine driving down a lonely stretch of highway late at night, and out of nowhere, a pair of headlights appears, seemingly barreling towards you.
Whoa, hold on. This is getting very Stephen King-esque. Tell me more.
Well, that's the crazy thing. As you get closer, those headlights vanish just as quickly as they arrived, leaving no trace or sign of a vehicle ever being there in the first place.
Wow.
These phantom car sightings have been reported on specific stretches of road around the world, with a particularly famous one being a ghostly truck that's said to cruise down a highway in Colorado.
That's seriously messed up. So, what do people think is behind it? Are these the spirits of drivers who met their end in tragic accidents, replaying those final moments for all eternity? Or is this some sort of time glitch where we're getting a glimpse of another dimension? That's what keeps me awake about tales like these. There's no easy answer.
Definitely. And let's not forget another ghostly phenomenon that plays on the concept of time: residual hauntings. Have you ever been in a place where you swear you're not alone, even if no one else is visibly present? There's a heaviness in the air, an almost unexplainable feeling of a past event clinging to the space.
You're absolutely right, June. That's the idea behind residual hauntings. Imagine these spectral echoes, imprints of energy from a bygone era, replaying over and over. Maybe it's a Civil War battle still raging silently on a long-forgotten battlefield. Or a tragic scene of lovers arguing endlessly, reliving itself within the walls of an old house.
There's something both spooky and incredibly sad about them, isn't there? These remnants of the past lingering and unable to fully move on. All right, let's end this episode with one of the greatest American ghost stories, the legend of the Bell Witch. Go for it, Mike.
Ooh, classic. Set in the early 1800s in Tennessee, the Bell Witch is an infamous tale of a malevolent spirit determined to torment a family. It starts with the typical knocking on doors, unexplained noises, and eerie phenomena, but soon escalates into violence, physically assaulting the Bell family, and even whispering prophecies. People believe this entity was responsible for poisoning the patriarch of the family. Talk about a ghost story with serious bite. They say the Bell Witch haunting is connected to a land dispute, or even a former slave seeking supernatural revenge.
That's fascinating. It just goes to show that behind many of these classic ghost stories, there can be very real darkness drawn from history. Oppression, injustice, and those echoes just won't fade away over time.
Exactly. Well, folks, looks like we've reached the end of this first episode of Strangest Things. Get ready, because next time we are diving into the world of the undead. You won't want to miss our exploration of the creepiest vampire legends and tales from around the globe.
We hope this trip into the world of ghost stories has left you both intrigued and maybe just a little bit creeped out. Mike, as always, it's a blast to uncover these eerie tales with you. Until next time, stay strange and curious.